The one campaign in particular, as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic in all different parts of the world, is operating on three different levels. One is emergency relief, obviously, helping people get the testing and access to the kind of healthcare that they need. One is economic relief. Obviously, this is having a tremendous impact on economies all around the world. And then the third is establishing and maintaining global health standards. So I think all of those are really important aspects of what we're fighting against here. It's very easy, it seems to me, as Americans, to frame this conversation in the context of what we're going through. But I think what we're looking for is a unified global response. I think it's safe to say we barely have a unified American response to this pandemic. And how do you feel about that, first of all, about the tone that sets in the rest of the world? That the perceived most powerful country in the world is probably dealing with this in the most ill-equipped way. Can you talk a little bit about that and the impact that has on the larger conversation?
Well, it's a really good point. And the US has been leading in global health for 20 years. Across administrations in a bipartisan way. And really, it's hard to describe how much people appreciate that all over the world. And it really was an act of solidarity, principally. We are with you, we're there for you, and we're there for ourselves. It's kind of shocking we need to say this, but a global pandemic demands a global response. You cannot respond to a global pandemic piece by piece or state by state. And certainly not supporting the World Health Organization, which is one of the most important global health institutions, is problematic in the middle of a pandemic. But I think there are a couple components that are essential. One is that solidarity. It's very difficult to describe to people how important it is that people in villages, literally all over the world, that Americans are standing with them, supporting them, and looking to them to provide us with inspiration and support. What that sense of solidarity, of being one, which is where the term one comes from, that sense of being one, the power of that is indescribable. But then there's the second component, which is, so it's the right thing to do, but it's also the smart thing to do. The reality is, and this is new for Americans, this is new for Europeans, really. There have been pandemics in the past, or epidemics like SARS and MERS, other coronaviruses actually, that affected countries. We can come back to that. But this is the first time really in a century the US has been hit with a pandemic that spreads rapidly, kills, and destroys economies. We've never had this before. So you kind of understand the inward lookingness of what are we gonna do? How are we gonna respond? But, first of all, again, it's the right thing to do to engage globally, and it really changes the world. But secondly, we have to. If a virus is lurking anywhere in the world, we're at risk. If we don't know about it, if we're not engaged, if we don't know the patterns of transmission, we are in deep trouble. We are flying blind into the future. We have no sense of it. Flying blind is incredibly dangerous to us.
For me to hear you say that is particularly unsettling.